we found out halfway through practice on Thursday that we weren't going to be able to play the game. And so we cut practice short. We gave them the rest of the day and Friday off, came back and practiced on Saturday and Sunday, gave them Monday off, and now we're back into our routine, which is exactly the same thing we're going to follow after the San Diego game too. So it wasn't like we weren't prepared in case all scenarios happen. And I think the time off hopefully has gotten us back to full speed, has gotten us healthy, hydrated, and all that stuff, so we can start our conference schedule on a good foot. Oh, you can sense it in the players, and you can sense it in the coaches. And the nice thing is they run a similar defenses to what we do. They're the only other team that runs a 3-3 stack, much like we do. While their philosophy is slightly different, it's one of those things that we've been seeing this for a long time, since last spring and this fall in the preseason. So there's not a whole lot of newness to it. What is really new is the speed with which they do things. So, Marist always has great players, real tough kids. They're very well coached. And they don't make a lot of mistakes. Defensively, they're always where they're supposed to be. Offensively, they've turned it over an uncanny amount of times for them early, and I think that's what's hurt them early. And is probably a major reason behind their 0-2 start. And then the other part is they're trying to find a quarterback. And I think, unfortunately, they found one last week in Husseini from New Jersey. He's a redshirt freshman, moves very well, has a very strong arm, and is starting to improve. You could see improvement from the first game to the second, and even as the second game went on, he got more and more comfortable and has great playmaking ability. And so we're going to have our hands full. I mean, he's their leading receiver. Justin is an outstanding talent. He's also a very good punt returner. He's had a couple long punt returns, so he does everything for them. And he's got great hands. He does a great job of putting his body in the correct position to shield the ball from the defender. And in the first two games, he was very well covered. I mean, the coverage was outstanding, and he came down with the football. And I think that gives a quarterback a lot of confidence, especially a young quarterback, where, hey, if I just get enough time to get the ball in his general vicinity, he's going to come up and make me look. We saw it a lot in the first game. They made some mistakes, especially hanging on the football. There were a couple interceptions early that were thrown that really kind of got them off on the wrong start. But as you can also see, because it's a young team, you also see great improvement as they go along, and we've seen that over the last probably 3/4 of the game. And even though Bryant scored a lot on them, they scored a lot on Bryant as well. And so we've got to make sure that we adjust to their speed. I think that's going to be our biggest adjustment, their speed, and they're always a very physical team as well. And they'll be much better than the teams we faced previously, and our guys need to go in with their eyes open, ready to go. Well, I think it starts with their head coach. Jim Ferry is outstanding. He's a quality man, quality individual, cares a lot about the kids, does things the right way, and obviously a very good football coach. He's been there a long time and has taken that program from almost nothing to where it is today. And they've gone through a ton of transitions, and so he's probably forgotten more football than most coaches have ever actually coached it. So that's one thing. The other thing is the type of kids they recruit. They recruit tough, hard-nosed kids who always do the right thing, and they play extremely hard. And one of the things you can see on film is they're very well coached. As I said, they don't make a lot of mistakes, rarely out of position, so they're not ever giving up the huge play. They make you take it in chunks offensively, and then their offense is still predicated on being able to run the ball and stop and their defense is predicated on stop the run. So it sounds old and cliche, but I think that's the type of coach and type of person Jim is. He has those certain fundamentals and certain formulas to win and doesn't deviate from them. We go into the game knowing that we have to run the ball effectively first, and that's really where our mindset is, and then hopefully the passes that are generated from that run are going to be in response to how the defense does things to stop. For example, this week, Wesley Beans, their safety, number 32, he's going to come down and get involved in the run. And they've got two outside safeties as well, that the McElroy kid, number 10, who's going to change where he's at within their defense, but based on that, we can anticipate certain things coming when he's in certain positions. And they do a great job with their two small linebackers outside. When I say small, they're short, but they're very, very well built and very fast. And so utilize that speed off the edge to try to, beat the blocking scheme off pass pro and get to the quarterback. Defenses have to get the safeties involved to stop the run. And even before the spread really became really fashionable, more and more guys were getting an extra guy in the box. Whether it's 7, 8, or 9 guys in the box, you usually have to do that with safeties. And so if you can't make a defense pay for bringing the safeties down, stopping the run, by, as you said, getting your wide receivers down the field, then it's a long day. And then you end up having to throw it a lot more than you want to. So we have got to pick and choose our spots, and we've got to make sure that Colin and Gav both have to have a great day in reading what they do with the safeties and the level 2 defenders, so that we can take advantage. If they're trying to get those guys involved in the run, we can pull the ball and either run the option outside or run the RPO. Well, I think the secret to our success this year rides predominantly with how the offensive line has improved. And, you can just see it on film. The line's moving in the direction of the defense rather than coming back toward the direction of the quarterback, which is always good. And I think the line and the running backs are synchronized. In other words, the backs understand where the ball is supposed to go, how the defense is supposed to react, and try to use their techniques against them. So I think the running backs and the offensive line are synchronized, and I think also there's a big sense of pride in protecting the quarterback. I think our kids feel that if they invest their time in mastering the techniques Stan's teaching them, that they're going to be great. And so there's a lot of trust there right now. And again, we're going to be facing a much better defensive line than we faced the last 2 weeks. So they're big, they're physical, and they move around pretty well. And so it's another new challenge that we got to elevate our game to. Well, when you run a three-man line, your nose guard and the front guy has to be able to command double teams, and he's got to be able to keep the guards and the centers off the middle linebacker so he can make the play. And their guy does a great job of that. He is 278, almost 300 pounds sometimes, depending on what roster you look at. And he's hard to get to move off the ball. And so when you're not creating movement, if there's stalemates up front, it restricts and reduces the size and the number of running lanes a running back has. So we have got to make sure that we're creating as many double teams as we can with the line that we're going to face, so that we get 600 pounds on 300 pounds, and hopefully that momentum will take us the right direction. Zane and Greg, you have to have that, and we would like to have. One of the reasons we run a 3-3 stack is, big defensive linemen who can run are a commodity. That's why pass rushers make the most money in the NFL, and corners, and that's why they get the scholarships when they have a great career early in their career, especially getting early offers. And so finding guys who can do that, one of the reasons we run a 3-3 stack, as I started to say, is it's easier for us to get linebackers. And so, but what we have to do is go out and find those high quality guys who can kind of wad up the middle for us and make sure that our middle linebackers stay free. And to this point, Zane and Greg have done that. It is, and you go down there. Spec Martin's a great stadium because of the intimacy and the closeness of it. They're really not a bad seat, and even the non-seats up in the end zone on the grass area aren't bad seats either. So, and then to have that place packed up and the energy in that, I think that a lot of the energy in stadiums come from the students, and seeing that side of the stadium filled up and seeing kids, it just creates a buzz and creates a higher level of energy for our kids, knowing that they're being supported by their contemporaries, not only at the stadium and around campus, but they're right at the game talking about what they're doing and getting excited about doing it. Well, one, turnovers. One of the reasons they're minus, I think, 3 in turnovers right now. We're 2 games and we're plus 3, I believe. So that's crucial. Number 2, I think we have got to be able to run the ball effectively and keep their offense off the field. They have, in addition to the wide receiver, their running back is a really good player, and their quarterback can pull it down and run it as well. And so we've got to make sure that we keep their defense on the field, their offense off the field, because they can't score without the ball. And then lastly, we've got to go out and elevate our game and get used to the speed of what we're going to see and the strength of what we're going to see. These are higher caliber players. It's playing a Division I team, obviously going to be different than an NAI team. And so we haven't had a game yet where we've had to play winning football throughout the whole game. I mean, these guys we've been able to sub, as you said, get a lot of linemen in the middle of the third and most of the fourth quarter, and so these guys have not played a full 4-quarter game, and so we're going to have to make sure that that we're ready mentally to come out the second half and be ready to go, because in the games that we've played, Marist, has been primarily the second half. Even last year we were 17-17 in the fourth quarter, and then they returned a fumble for a touchdown, and it kind of broke open after that. So we've got to make sure that when we get punched in the mouth, and if that punch comes late in the second, third, and fourth quarter, that we're able to bounce back and overcome that and still play at the level we need to.